Welcome to Turnpike Sports. I'm Dave Weischadle, and as always, I'm joined by my producer and co-host, Doug Weischadle. Doug, for the second weekend in a row, I sat down to watch a sporting event that I'm really excited about watching. First, the Daytona 500, then the outdoor hockey game with Las Vegas versus Colorado. And both times, they were postponed for hours. One because of rain, the Daytona 500, and one because of the sun, the hockey game.
Were they about the same length in delays? About 5 hours?
I don't know.
6 hours each?
I don't know. But no, the hockey game started up at midnight.
Midnight Eastern time, yeah.
East Coast time.
But I have to admit, watching at least the first period of the hockey game, that was a very, very unique setting. It was actually fun to watch. Kind of reminded me of that movie Mystery Alaska.
Yeah, it was a beautiful setting, but according to Gary Bettman, who gave one of the more interesting meteorological statements in the world, I guess it was cloudy where it was sunny, or sunny where it wasn't cloudy, or what did he actually say?
Well, luckily we have it.
The cloud cover is everywhere but where the sun is.
What an astute observation there.
He must have an astronomy background.
Yeah, no, it's he could be a weatherman. But no, it's I guess the sun ravaged the ice, and it made it very dangerous for the players. So I guess they did the right thing.
Well, so. I guess they looked at the forecast before they decided when and where they were going to do this and how they were going to do it, and the weather didn't cooperate, just like it didn't cooperate with the Daytona 500.
Well, the exact opposite. The weather was, I mean, if you were a spectator, the weather was absolutely beautiful. If you were a hockey player, the
ice was terrible.
The sun was beating down on the ice, was just awful.
Yeah.
We got a great show coming up for you. We have a By the Numbers segment coming up. We also have a Turnpike Sports book report where we talk about what's going on in the sports books across the country. And later on, I'm going to be talking with Brian Pempus from USBets.com and Better Collective, and we're going to talk about the Wire Act case coming out of New Hampshire and what it means for online gambling in this country. It's been a busy week in sports, so let's take a trip down the Turnpike. Today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
Exit 1.
Well, baseball season is upon us.
Pitchers and catchers.
And what that means for our industry is more and more betting opportunities.
All right.
Especially in what we're going to talk about today in the micro market area.
Micro markets, for people who don't know, I guess the game within a game, can we call that?
The bet within a bet?
Yeah, the bet within a bet. The if this next batter will strike out or not, or if this batter will get a hit kind of thing.
Will it be a curveball? Will it be whatever, whatever those things.
That game within a game kind of thing.
Well, Simplebet announced that they have done a deal with Major League Baseball. They are not an official sports betting partner with the league. They are the official odds provider for the new free-to-play app by Major League Baseball called the Rally app.
Interesting. Where is this Rally app? Where can you get it?
Go to MLB.com.
MLB.com? Okay, the Rally app. And it's free to play, huh?
Free to play.
Great.
The MLB Rally app, presented by BetMGM. Wherever you've seen stuff now, it's BetMGM is somewhere.
Boy, BetMGM is marketing itself, and so they should. It's a great product. But I saw their commercials a lot in New Jersey.
Well, they are partnered with the Major League Baseball to do a real-time game where users 21 years of age and older can make live predictions, earn points, leaderboards. It's a free-to-play game that's sports betting, yet not sports betting.
Okay. I mean, certainly you can't win real money, but can you...
cash. You can win cash.
You can win prizes?
Prizes.
Okay.
Cash, merchandise, moral, and other stuff.
Okay.
Basically, as long as it's not money in, money out, it's not betting.
Yeah, money in,
that's
money
a basic
out.
definition of gambling in most states.
If you win a certain contest and you get prizes, I guess that falls under the sweepstakes category.
It can, yes.
Yes.
Which
takes it out of betting.
Exactly.
Okay.
What MLB Rally will integrate is Simplebet's micro market algorithms. Now that's a highly technical way of phrasing Simplebet's come up with a way to predict and create odds based upon past outcomes of other instances earlier on. So they're going to be integrating Simplebet's algorithms into this MLB Rally app. It's going to be a lot more accurate than it has been in the past because Simplebet's algorithm is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Did we have Simplebet on?
We had Chris Bevilacqua.
Yes, okay.
He was on. He talked about the algorithms. He talked about the company. It's a very, very unique market to get into, and it's almost like I don't want to simplify it as saying it's like shot by shot with golf.
Yeah.
But it's basically almost sort of like that. You apply it to baseball. You're going to be doing it with football too at some point too, play by play.
I won some money last year with the micro markets. You know, someone comes up in a leadoff position, the first batter of the game. You know, I always think they're going to strike out, so that's my in-play bet, that micro market bet that first batter is going to strike out. And you know what? I win money off of that.
I actually find that a lot more interesting to see how this is developing than the overall sports betting market because it's a niche market within the market.
You know, when you talk about fan engagement, this is when I think of fan engagement, when you're constantly watching the game because you have these micro markets going on and occurring throughout the game. I mean, a baseball game can have like 1,000 bets you can place on it when you play the micro market. So I think it's
maybe even more than that.
I mean, I think it's crucial for fan engagement. When they talk about fan engagement, that's what they mean, the in-play betting and the micro markets.
Well, if you think about it, you have the game betting, then the in-game betting, and then the micro-market betting.
Yeah.
Because there are so many different levels of sports betting all of a sudden. The technology has gotten to the point where if you can think about it, you can actually enact it and get more engagement from it.
I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've watched the baseball game with my tablet or my phone in my hand making bets during the game. So, you know, it's a fun thing to do.
Well, the interesting part about this deal, more so than just the in-game betting and the in-play betting, this deal was really for the official odds provider for the MLB Rally app, but part of the deal is these odds are going to be used down the line for the sportsbook providers too.
Sure.
So Simplebet's deal is multi-tiered here.
But the MLB Rally app, that's free to play. That's not gambling, and and it's presented by BetMGM, huh?
Yep.
Great.
Exit 2.
Well, it looks like we're going to have an eSports sportsbook race to be first coming up soon here. I don't know how.
Esports is huge. Esports is huge.
I don't know when and how these are going to launch, but eSports Entertainment Group, this is what we're going to focus on in this exit today for the eSports exit. They have filed their first U.S. application with the New Jersey Division of Gaming Enforcement for sports betting. Now, for those who don't or aren't familiar with eSports Entertainment Group, they offer esports betting in over 150 different jurisdictions around the world. One of the biggest esports betting outfits out there. They've done deals with NFL teams, MLB teams, different types of tournament platforms. They actually have their own tournament platform that they offer in these deals to these sports teams to create esports tournaments that are branded for those teams.
Mm-hmm.
So what they have done, they have applied for a sports betting license through New Jersey's Division of Gaming Enforcement, and they plan to be the first one in the nation to have an esports sportsbook, esports-only sportsbook.
Now, will this be I'm assuming this is online, right? Online and mobile?
Yes.
Okay. I'm very curious.
Well, no, they may have a physical book depending upon what the steps are with
See,
this.
that's where I was leading. I was wondering if I can go to, I'm in New Jersey, so if I can go to Atlantic City or if I go to the Meadowlands, will I be able to place bets on esports? I mean, that could stem from their actions right now.
Well, right now the esports wagering in New Jersey is limited to a couple of things. Mm-hmm. League of Legends World Championship Series, Counter-Strike Global Offensive Championship Series, and the eNASCAR iRacing Series.
Oh, okay.
There's a bill in there to expand it, and everyone's expecting it to get to Murphy's desk, Governor Murphy of New Jersey, his desk by the end of the year.
That's amazing that you had that information at your fingertips. That's
It's called research.
You are Mr. Esports. Wow.
It's called research. It's called research. Yeah. But see, this is where the question comes in: who's going to be first? Because if you remember, we talked about this in last year in December.
Who's in line other than New Jersey? Who's in line?
Gameco with the Sky Casino in Colorado.
Okay.
Now, in December, Gameco announced they had made a deal with US Bookmaking, which is another sportsbook operator, that they entered into a partnership with the Sky Ute Casino in Colorado to build the nation's first eSports-only sportsbook. Haven't heard a peep from it since then.
I remember that story. Yeah, I was very interested in that story, but it kind of I haven't heard about it in a couple of weeks now.
Well,
so there's a race between these two entities.
Colorado, New Jersey.
All right. Okay.
Two of the best sports betting markets, I think.
Sure, absolutely.
New Jersey is the leader. It's actually the most mature market in such a short time. You want to say Nevada is, that's fine. But in terms of the new breed, New Jersey is the most mature market. It's where all the trends are starting to be set around the nation.
Why isn't Nevada in on this? Because their big esports area is the Luxor. I would think that they'd be jumping on the esports betting bandwagon kind of thing.
The only thing I can figure is the people that go to like the Las Vegas Strip aren't esports people.
Yeah, okay.
Nevada may not have a huge esports population. I know California does, and I think Nevada's missing the boat if they don't start offering it as a way to get visitors back into the city.
I also
think Las Vegas, Reno, even.
I also think Pennsylvania is a great esports market because Philadelphia is doing amazing things with esports. So, but now
again, Philly's right on the border with Jersey, so it kind of straddles that.
Yeah.
Those two, you got to talk about them together almost.
Sure, but New Jersey and Colorado are the front runners right now, right?
For an esports-only sportsbook. The first one in the nation. Again, it's a matter of who's going to build it first. I think, I hate to be Homer here, but you got to think Esports Entertainment Group, with all the moves they've made and all the traction they have in the esports arena right now, they may actually get it first.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
Exit 3.
We may have a trademark battle between sportsbooks brewing.
Ooh, interesting.
Now, we've got...
I always like these battles, these trademark battles.
Most times, trademark battles aren't really battles.
They'll probably
get
be settled
before they go to court.
One side sends a cease and desist, and the other, changes their marketing plan.
Well, right now, we have 2 cease and desist letters being sent here.
Okay, all right. One from each side, or
no.
two from
from
one
the
side?
same side. Two from the same side.
All right. Well, who's involved in this one?
Westgate Superbook.
All right.
And I hate to say this, obviously Barstool Sportsbook, because they do things unorthodox, in an unorthodox manner, and it works. I like what they do.
Oh no,
I have to admit, I love how they handle everything.
They're doing a great job with their sportsbook in Michigan. I think they're really. Certainly they have the big boys to contend with, the FanDuels and the DraftKings, but I think Barstool is really holding their own in Michigan.
Well, Barstool...
And Pennsylvania, by the way, too. They're doing very good in Pennsylvania.
In the sports betting industry, Barstool falls under the label disruptor. And that's a YouTube influencer term that, they make waves. But they make waves
in a good
money.
way.
Yeah, exactly.
For
them.
There's no bad publicity.
No, and they personify that.
Yep.
So what's happened? Westgate Superbook has sent a cease and desist letter against Barstool Sports. The second cease and desist letter.
So what are they alleging?
That Barstool Sports is using their trademark "Good teams win, great teams cover." Now, again, the second one that they sent. The second one was sent on January 12th, 2021. The first one was sent back in June of 2020.
Okay.
I went and looked up the mark. They do actually own a registered trademark for this. It was filed in 2008. It was registered in 2012. And they had a couple office actions to, amend, alter, that sort of stuff, which is the normal trademark routine, especially in certain areas of service marks, which this is.
Okay.
In July of 2017, Westgate was able to get this mark declared incontestable.
All right.
Or they achieved a incontestability ranking with the trademark office.
Okay. So how are they alleging that Barstool is using it?
They're using it.
Oh, what, is Barstool using it in an ad campaign or something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, just for people to get a little background here for incontestability, because not a lot of people are familiar with that status for a trademark. A registered once a trademark registers, if it's in continuous use in commerce, and there's no gap in its use, and it's also being used in the way it's registered for, for whatever services or whatever products. If it's in continuous use in commerce for 5 years by the same owner, you can file for what's called incontestability status, which means no one can attack the mark for invalidation. There's one way you can attack it, that's fraud. And fraud for trademark purposes is you're not using it for the purpose that it's registered for. Doesn't mean you lied about getting the mark itself. It just means you're not using it the right way.
And that's the only way you can invalidate
a registered trademark after 5 years that has achieved incontestability status.
So what's Barstool saying, or what's Barstool responding?
Well, Portnoy has put out a tweet, and he ended it by saying, by the way, there is literally no chance they invented that. That's like saying you invented the question mark. It's a funny line. Funny line.
Yeah,
funny line.
I think that would be true if they were talking about patent law.
Right. Trademarks are not inventions.
It's a little different.
And also with this incontestability issue here, a lot of this favors Westgate. And again, the second cease and desist letter.
So has Barstool said what they're going to do?
Comment.
No comment?
No comment from either side.
So this is going to keep going on, or there's going to be a settlement kind of thing, or...
You would assume in situations like this, there's always going to be a settlement, or they'll just stop using it.
Uh-huh.
And again, the cease and desist basically says don't use it anymore.
By the way, if they were using it in for an ad campaign, I mean, they're getting more play out of it now because this is free advertisement. I think it's a great move by Barstool. Everyone's talking about it.
That's one of the reasons why Portnoy threw out a copy of
done,
the
Barstool.
Cease and desist. Again,
well done, Barstool.
Disruptor-style business,
good,
and it works.
Good for them.
It works.
But,
I still remember back in a couple months ago, Action 24/7 got a cease and desist from MGM when they were using Jerry the King Lawler for their ad saying he was the real king of sportsbook.
Okay.
And they mirrored BetMGM's King of Sportsbook ad campaign.
Well, who was that?
Action 24/7.
Jamie Foxx was
Foxx was in BetMGM's.
Yeah.
Jerry the King Lawler, for all you wrestling fans.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most fun wrestlers to watch ever.
So was that a TV commercial? Because I want to check that out.
Down there it was.
Is it on?
And it was also a billboard campaign.
Now, is it on YouTube? I want to check that out. I haven't seen Jerry Lawler in a long time.
Everything's down.
Ah, damn. I wanted to see that.
So that may happen here, too. So
okay. Well, hey, you know what? I both sides are getting play out of this in the news. So good teams win, great teams cover. So I guess...
And it also
good for both sides, but I guess it'll be worked out.
Yeah, it'll be worked
certainly
out.
Be. Both sides have very good lawyers. So
Exit 4.
And last but not least today, we're staying in the tech side of everything.
We're tech heavy, huh?
Tech heavy.
Tech heavy.
But this one's not betting tech.
Okay.
Golden State Warriors, the NBA's Golden State Warriors basketball team. They have teamed up with audience engagement platform LiveLike.
LiveLike.
I like the terminology, audience engagement platform now. They're not social media anymore. It's audience engagement platforms.
Is that okay? That's the term now? Okay.
Yeah, that's the term.
All right.
They will be launching a new second screen experience. There's another terminology change for you, too.
Okay, you're going to have to explain what a second screen experience is. What's the first screen? Let's start with that.
TV.
Okay, TV is the first screen.
Yes.
What's the second screen?
On your app. Or your mobile device. Or your computer.
Okay, so when you say second screen, I'm not talking about a split screen kind of viewing thing.
No.
First screen is TV, second screen... Well,
you ever see the Betcast? Where they have the actual action in one screen, then they have stuff all around it, and odds flashing here, ads everywhere, that sort of thing. They're not pop-ups, but they're extensions of the actual stats and everything else going on around
if
the
you
game.
ever watch those business networks, it
Bloomberg.
It reminds me of that Bloomberg or CNBC. You have the screen of the anchor in front of you, but on the side and on the bottom you have all the information on the stocks and the businesses. So I like that when watching sports like that.
Well,
a lot of information.
The Warriors have launched this. It's called Game Mode. And this is while the stadium or the arena is closed to visitors or fans. Mm-hmm. You can't go to see the game. So they have this second screen app where you're going to have live chat rooms during the games where people can talk back and forth to each other. There's going to be a scoreboard with play-by-play updates at the top of the screens. There's going to be emojis. You're going to have polls, trivia questions. They're going to have cheer meters. I don't know how you cheer from far away. I mean, through the app, I guess you just yell into the app. I don't know how they're going to do that, but they're doing this while the arena is closed to fans. And they're doing this they're going to be selling sponsorships through it. They're going to be doing prizes. They're going to get fan engagement out the wazoo for this. And I think this is a great thing.
I mean, when fans come back, I hope they keep this up because, look, nothing, for me anyway, I mean, this weekend I saw a great basketball game, where Joel Embiid scored 50 points, and it was so much fun following Twitter with the game. So it just enhances the game for me. So I'm sure something like this will enhance the game.
You were doing a second screen experience without even knowing.
I did not even know that.
You made your own. You Frankensteined it.
I had a great idea. I had a great time watching Twitter as I was watching the 76ers. So it was a lot of fun.
Game mode will be available for Warriors app users while the Chase Center is closed. No word on whether they're going to continue afterwards, but I would think if they see the revenue coming in from this, they're going to keep doing it.
I hope so. I think it's a great thing for fans. I mean, chat rooms during a game is always fun.
Yeah.
And the great place where we live in New Jersey is, we have, for basketball anyway, we have the Sixers, Brooklyn Nets, and the Knicks. So, a lot of chances for fan engagement in our area.
And actually, you don't even have to be in the area to get that. You can be anywhere in the country.
And today's trip down the Turnpike was brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
And as always, you can get in touch with Turnpike Sports by calling or texting us at 609-512-5910. That's 609-512-5910. At Turnpike Sports is the show's handle on Facebook and Twitter. At Turnpike Sports Radio is our handle on Instagram. And as always, our email address is info@turnpikesportsradio.com. And don't forget, you can listen to the show via Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, radio.com mobile app, as well as Stitcher and YouTube. You can also watch us on your smart TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. Head on over to turnpikesports.net. You'll be able to watch our video channel there.
Well, we got a great show coming up for you. We got a By the Numbers segment coming up. We have a Turnpike Sports Book Report where we talk about what's going on, the sports books across the country. But coming up after this, I'm talking with Brian Pempus from USBets.com and Better Collective, and we're going to be talking about the Wire Act case that's coming out of New Hampshire and what it means for online gambling in this country. So stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
You, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore.
Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here.
Use offer code SPICE404.
They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
Today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-297-9788. 800-297-9788.
Welcome back to Turnpike Sports. Dave Weischadle with you here. Lots of things are happening in the gambling world. There was a huge court case that could determine the future of online gambling in this country. And to find out what's happening in the gambling world, we are lucky to have on the line from USBets.com and Better Collective, Brian Pempus. Brian, thanks for coming on.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
The pleasure's all ours. And I certainly want to start off with this huge case coming out of the First Circuit Court of Appeals in New Hampshire. And at the center of this case is something called the Wire Act. I mean, it's in the news a lot this week. So for people who don't know or who are not familiar with the Wire Act, what is it and what does it mean for online gambling?
So it's a law from the 1960s, which is kind of a little bit humorous that it applies to online gaming today. But basically in 2011, shortly before Christmas, in the wake of the online poker's Black Friday, the Obama DOJ reinterpreted the Wire Act to sort of open the door for states to legalize online gaming without really worrying about, violating this law. And it was, if people remember back then, online poker was sort of the big thing. This was before sports betting really became mainstream. So it was really good for online poker. It was a very promising situation for online poker. But even with this reinterpretation of the Wire Act, online poker expansion in terms of states regulating it was still kind of slow. And then fast forward a bunch of years to later in the decade, when there was an effort by some people to kind of put the genie back in the bottle and have the Wire Act apply to all forms of online gaming, not just sports betting, which is what the recent ruling the other day basically put the Wire Act back to the interpretation back to where it was in 2011, where it only applies to interstate sports betting and not broader forms of gaming, which really this is great for online poker. I think that's the key here, is that online poker, despite these concerns, Nevada, New Jersey, and Delaware, we're still able to work out a deal where they could pool their players together on the World Series of Poker sort of network here. But with the Wire Act being again kind of beaten back in court, it definitely appears like it's giving states more confidence to potentially link up for online poker, which that's sort of like the most obvious example of what the Wire Act would sort of make problematic would be the interstate pooling of online poker players between poker sites. So definitely a good win in court for online poker, although it's sort of not surprising because the reinterpretation of the Wire Act during the Trump years was sort of on shaky ground, and I don't think many people thought that interpretation from the Trump era, DOJ was going to kind of, stick. I think it'll cause, Pennsylvania and Michigan to kind of maybe think more seriously about, forming an interstate, online poker sort of compact. And it's not really clear exactly what states will be partnered with each other for this. I get, Pennsylvania and New Jersey make sense, and Michigan there too. In Nevada, there's only, one poker site. So it's sort of, I don't know if Nevada will be kind of left out in the cold here for a little bit if Michigan and Pennsylvania and New Jersey sort of link up for online poker. But yeah, I mean, it's a very promising situation for online poker.
The interesting thing about the court case in New Hampshire is it really didn't focus on online poker or online gambling. It wasn't one of the parties the New Hampshire lottery? Yeah, that's so when the Wire Act was reinterpreted, during the Trump years, it was done so in such a way that it would call into question the legality of state lotteries that, do any sort of gambling across state lines, right? So if any sort of the digital internet communications related to the gambling cross state lines, it could potentially be in the crosshairs of prosecution if under this interpretation of the Wire Act. So state lotteries were obviously they're giant, right? They make a lot of money, they sell a lot of tickets, and fund a lot of different programs for states. So the lotteries were obviously very concerned when, in 2018, the Trump DOJ, put forward this, new interpretation. So yeah, the lottery sort of spearheaded, this, court challenge. But if you remember back in 2011, it was actually the, New York State Lottery that was sort of the driving force behind that reinterpretation of the Wire Act. It wasn't online poker. Any online poker site or any online gaming site at the time was actually state lotteries that wanted to have this law sort of be put to rest. And so it's not surprising that 9 years later or close to a decade later, it was lotteries again sort of being at the forefront of fighting the Wire Act. But the trickle down effect is really good for online poker, and state lotteries it's very hard to imagine them shutting down. So online poker, sort of riding the coattails of the state lotteries here, and it has been that way for many years. Online poker benefits from this. So what exactly was the appeal court ruling? Was it that the Wire Act just applies to sports betting and that's it?
Yep, interstate sports betting. So yeah, I mean, I think the DOJ, I think it doesn't appear that this is going to be challenged further. I don't know if I don't think this is going to make its way to the Supreme Court, but it could. It might be an important issue, but it's hard to say. I think the government has a little while to appeal it. But it seems like this will be maybe the end of it. So it's a good thing for sure.
So you certainly touched on it a little bit before, but what does this ruling mean for the United States and internet gambling? I mean, are we looking at possibly federal legislation for internet gambling, or do you think this will be driven mostly by the states? They'll have to do legislation and then possibly join in these interstate compacts. I mean, practically speaking, what does this ruling do, and how does this guide the states moving forward?
Yeah, I think states were kind of just expanding gambling around this, legal saga around the Wire Act, right? I mean, online casino gaming, if you keep it within, the borders of your state, it's all well and good. This is only the Interstate Wire Act, only called into question gambling that was, happening across state lines. So, states were kind of just like, going about their business without really, a ton of concern about this. Michigan legalized online casino gaming. Pennsylvania did. New Jersey did. Other states are Like Indiana has a bill pending for online casinos that was going to be, pushed regardless of, the Wire Act kind of resolving in court. It seems like, if you keep the gambling within state borders. But yeah, I mean, I don't think states were really too concerned about it in the sense that if they implemented their, online gaming expansion in the right way, they could, not have to worry about, potentially violating this law. But I think, it's not easy for a state to do that. Pennsylvania had concerns, back in the wake of the 2018 reinterpretation of the Wire Act. They basically made some changes. We're telling the operators to keep things within state borders, and all that. So I think, I don't. The Supreme Court ruling in 2018 over the 1992 federal sports betting law was a much more pivotal sort of ruling for expanding online gaming. I think that the Wire Act is sort of this hurdle and roadblock to online gaming expansion, but not one that states weren't willing to kind of step over in the meantime while it was still sort of playing out. But like I said, it's really beneficial for online poker. I think that's the online gaming vertical that really benefits here, is that, states are going to be less concerned about, interstate online poker deals. And for anyone who's played online poker, people know that the games have to be sort of robust and, heavily populated with players for them to be kind of attractive, right? 24/7, sort of poker games going around the clock. You could log on at any time and play poker. That's sort of what people kind of grew to, expect during the online poker boom over a decade ago. And all these, any online poker site that's basically ring fenced to a given state is not going to be that popular compared to, the sports betting apps or the online casino games. So I think, online poker is the real winner here. And it kind of makes sense because, online poker was sort of the game that was set to kind of benefit the most when this original reinterpretation came out in 2011.
Do you think this decision is really going to open up the floodgates to other states who are now wavering on whether to offer online gambling and especially offer online poker? I mean, we mentioned Nevada, New Jersey, Delaware, and Michigan. Nevada, New Jersey, and Delaware have the interstate compact. Will states have this idea, okay, if we do online poker, we can jump into the interstate compact, and that's when we can make some real money? Do you think a lot of states will be jumping on the online poker bandwagon pretty soon?
Yeah, I think it's sort of like a domino effect. I mean, I don't think any state's really going to be making a lot of tax revenue from online poker.
Sure.
Compared to, their overall budget, right? But it definitely helps, and regulating it definitely adds, some monies to the coffers. But yeah, I mean, I think it's like, when the Supreme Court ruling came out in 2018, David Rebuck from the New Jersey Division of Gaming Enforcement was quoted, I believe, in the AP, saying that this ruling was going to open up the floodgates for online gaming. And I think it's because, sports betting has shown that people prefer, betting on their phones and computers, and that form of online gaming is sort of going to be the lever, the leverage, I guess, for a lot of these companies to be able to offer other forms of online gaming in states. So I think states that are looking at sports betting and doing it online are going to eventually, sooner probably rather than later, see that, online poker would be a natural fit as well, if they already have online mobile sports betting. So I think the sports betting expansion is really kind of the gateway for online poker to sort of ride that. And it's funny, like, how it worked out, the timeline. Maybe sports betting would have been riding the coattails of online poker a decade ago, but now it's sort of the opposite situation. So I don't think I don't think the Wire Act ruling or the Wire Act ruling the other day that was beneficial for the industry is really, that's going to be the reason why states pursue online poker now. It's sort of, the gears were already started moving and turning, and states that are looking at sports betting, I think we'll see online poker as an option. But I think online poker is still, regulated online poker in the U.S. is still sort of in its infancy, and I don't think any state has really shown yet that online poker is a great money maker for any state. So I don't know if all of a sudden now, with the Wire Act being again out of the picture, states are going to be like, yes, online poker right now, let's do it. I think it's still going to be a relatively slow process, but definitely picking up. Adam Greenblatt with BetMGM, he's the CEO of BetMGM, of their online gaming kind of division, said late last year at a digital conference that he expects nationwide online poker liquidity sharing within a decade, and that might be a little bit optimistic. Nationwide, that's kind of hard to imagine right now, but I think it definitely kind of is part of the process. A great kind of thing to, the Wire Act kind of falling is a great thing to kind of have happen. But I think everyone kind of assumed that this was going to happen. The Wire Act opinion that came down during the Trump years was sort of going to not going to stick, right? So I think and I think states probably realize that too. A lot of people, a lot of lawmakers in various states, realize that it's their right, a state's right to legalize and regulate gaming.
Brian, we're running out of time. Can you give out a website where people can read your articles and give out your social media address so people can follow what you're up to? Sure.
Yeah, I write for kind of several different sites. USBets.com is one place you can find my writing, and TNBets.com for coverage of Tennessee. And we have another website, MIBets.com for all our Michigan news. And another site I write heavily for is HoosierStateBets.com, which is our Indiana website. And my Twitter is @BrianPempus, and you can follow me along there as well.
Brian Pempus from USBets.com and Better Collective, thanks so much for coming on and keeping us updated on what's going on in the gambling world. I got to tell you, your articles are required reading here at the radio show, and it's great to finally talk to you.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Thanks for having me. Take care.
Stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports. We'll get back to the show in a few moments, but I just wanted to take some time and tell everyone about Bean Genius, the smart specialty coffee subscription service. Bean Genius sells freshly roasted coffee from some of the best independent coffee roasters in the country. They feature over 2,000 specialty coffee blends, all at your fingertips at BeanGenius.com. Here's how it works. Head on over to BeanGenius.com and take their palate profiler test to find out what coffee best fits your taste. Then select from a variety of subscription plans. Every subscription comes with free shipping, and delivery can even be scheduled for once or twice each month. And based upon your review of each coffee blend you try, Bean Genius actually learns your individual taste preferences and then suggests future coffee blends for you. And now you can get 10% off your Bean Genius subscription when you use our promo code PIKE at checkout. Bean Genius offers a variety of subscription plans to suit any coffee lover's needs. Subscribe with Bean Genius today and start enjoying some of the best tasting coffee around. And save 10% off your coffee plan with promo code PIKE. And By the Numbers is sponsored by Play Sugar House Online Casino and Sportsbook in New Jersey. Sign up at playsugarhouse.com/pike and get a first deposit match of up to $250. Enjoy the casino experience online. Play Sugar House offers over 400 games online, slots, table games, hey, even bingo. It's like being in a casino without leaving your home. That's playsugarhouse.com/pike to get your first deposit match of up to $250 today. Must be 21 years or older and physically present in New Jersey. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit 800gambler.org.
And we're going to be doing another By the Numbers segment here. This is where I actually throw out a couple numbers and we let the numbers tell the story. I don't tell you what the numbers are and what they mean.
Yeah, but I
time.
never get it. Once in a while I get it. But
Some of these are common sense numbers.
Well, no, they're not. No, they're not. I guarantee you're going to say they're common sense. You're going to throw out the first number, and I'm not going to know what you're talking about. Well, go ahead.
700,000.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I just said I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
That's the viewership, the total viewership during the opening weekend of fan-controlled football on Twitch.
I got to get on Twitch. I mean, how does one get on
TV.
Twitch? Do I have
Twitch.tv, just go.
Okay, but do I have to sign up
Some
for
of them
Twitch?
You do. Some of them you don't.
Okay.
Well,
so this fan-controlled football, do I have to sign up for Twitch?
Well, you have to create an account on Twitch.
I have to create it. Okay.
It's a free account.
Okay. All right. I'll get on Twitch.
Yeah, twitch.tv. But fan-controlled football launched not too long ago, and I saw some of the highlights for this, and I was actually
first off,
into the game.
Okay, first off, tell me what fan-controlled football is.
Fan-controlled
I'm pretty
football,
sure you told me before, but refresh my memory.
There are 6 teams, I believe, 6 or 8.
So this is a league.
This is a league.
Okay.
Owned by former NFL players. Current NFL players are involved in it as well. Former NFL players are actually playing in the league. Short field, and it lasts about an hour, 60 minutes. It's not 60 minutes game time, it's 60 minutes.
Okay, I turned on I don't know if this was a news report on it or something like that, but I saw Johnny Manziel playing football.
ESPN was playing the crap out of the highlights for the first week.
Okay, that was the highlights. That was fan-controlled football, Johnny Manziel. That's what I was watching on ESPN.
The helmet cam is a really great idea.
I didn't see the helmet cam part, but I saw a pretty good run by Johnny Manziel.
Well, they were showing the footage of Manziel's helmet cam as he was making the run.
Really? Okay, that's great.
And the twist here is not only just short field and a short amount of time. Fan-controlled football is really fan-controlled. They have an app where people download, register, and they call plays.
The fans call plays.
The fans call. Wow. They put in their play. They vote on it. That's the play.
How quickly do you have to do that, though? I mean, how much time between plays do they have to compile all these fan requests for plays?
Well, they got a good response. I don't know how quickly they did it,
but yeah, 700,000. You know.
Well, that's the viewers.
And I just talked about it because I didn't exactly know what it was, what I was watching. But
here is the.
It looked like
here's this. The inaugural weekend saw fans make around 250,000 combined play calls. So you actually make a couple play calls at one shot, and then you vote on it.
Okay, all right.
More than 70% of the people using the app called over 5 plays each. They had some great fan engagement here. Not to use a sports betting term.
Boy, talk about fan engagement. The fans are actually calling the plays.
Well, they had peak viewership of 35,000 people watching the Zappers versus the Beasts. And I think if you apply your NFL knowledge to this, you know that the Beasts are owned by Marshawn Lynch. He's one of the co-owners of the league, of the team in that league.
Great.
The app that weekend, opening weekend, was the most downloaded sports app on the Apple Store. It outpaced ESPN, the NBA app, DraftKings. They registered 119,000 viewership hours on Twitch to go along with the 700,000 total viewers.
Wow.
So not everyone was watching a full hour's worth of a game, but total hours added up to 119,000 viewership hours.
So when are these games played? I mean...
They're played a couple of games every weekend.
All right.
There's only like 4 or 5 weeks. So it's all indoor football, nothing outdoor.
Yeah, I know. I saw that, yeah.
And they actually have made some headway here really quickly. And it's really nice to see. Their Instagram followers are up nearly 4 times that from the opening weekend, before the opening weekend till after. And Twitter followers doubled for the league.
No, I'm gonna check it out.
Ready for the next number. 35.
35.
I went from 700,000 to 35.
Yeah, that's a. I have no idea.
That is the percentage that the viewership fell for this year's Daytona 500.
Well, the Daytona 500 was also delayed 6 hours and
5.5 hours.
5.5 hours, 6 hours. But no, I don't even know what time at night he crossed.
It was after midnight. It was after midnight.
Yeah.
Well, this year's Daytona 500 brought in a rating of 2.8 and an average viewership of 4.83 million. That's 35% down from last year's viewership of 7.33 million in 2020. That was their record low last year. They just set a new record low this year for viewership on TV.
Well, like I said, I mean, I think the delay, I didn't even know when it started again. If you're delayed 5 hours, you kind of move on. I mean, unless you're really a hardcore fan of Daytona 500. But,
well, I think we have 4.83 million viewers.
I didn't even know when it restarted. So I think I saw it on Twitter that the game that they were running again. So.
Well, they have been steadily declining in TV viewership, and I don't know if it's a matter of quality of coverage or, whatever it is, but back in 2005, Fox had the record. 18.7 million viewers in 2005, household rating of 10.8 for the Daytona 500. And they've been slowly going further and further down. I mean, they've increased their diversity program, has gotten Pitbull involved, and also Michael Jordan.
I saw the interviews during the day. I think they were doing the interviews before the race started.
Yeah. But they've been slowly...
And then 6 hours later, the race continued.
It'll be interesting to see what happens down the road here, because after this year, there's not going to be any more NBC Sports Network, which carries most of the NASCAR races.
Okay, yeah, we'll see.
NBC has talked about moving them to a streaming channel like Peacock, and NASCAR so far has been hesitant to say yes to that. They don't want to do that.
I'm surprised Fox doesn't jump on it.
Well, they can't break into the deal.
Well, yeah, I know that, but
I mean, after this deal is over, maybe they want to look at. But the major races are going to be on USA after the NBC Sports Networks go away. Mm-hmm. But right now, they just don't want to do streaming. NASCAR, I'm talking about. So we'll see what happens once the NBC Sports Network ends its run at the end of this year. Last number. 95.8 million.
I don't know. I don't even know if that's a dollar figure. It's certainly. I don't think it's a viewership thing.
It's a dollar figure.
It's a dollar figure. Okay, I don't know.
It's the value of the sponsorships for the top 5 Super Bowl advertisers. Now, this isn't what they paid.
This is what they got out of it.
This is the value of the sponsorship impressions that were done during the Super Bowl.
Okay, who were the top 5 sponsors?
Well, first of all, this is done by Gum Gum Media, this study.
All right.
They released this report. Top 5 sponsors by media value. Pepsi, 31.6 million. Verizon was second with 26.5. Gatorade, 20.6. Gatorade had some really interesting stuff on the sidelines, by the way. It was all this Gatorade stuff up and down both sidelines during the game. I don't know if you noticed it during the game itself.
I did, yeah.
But there was a lot of Gatorade stuff, and they got some good value
I think I'm one of the few people who did not put a bet on the color of Gatorade being thrown on the coach. So
no, I don't
even know what it was.
I didn't do that, and I didn't do.
Someone said it. I can't remember.
Well,
what it
you know
was.
what the funny part was? The main broadcast, the cameraman blocked the color of the Gatorade when they threw it on him.
Really?
I don't know if that was intentional or accidental.
It probably wasn't intentional.
But they have multiple angles, but the one that was the main view on the broadcast was blocked by a cameraman.
It was probably cut away. But look,
yeah.
They
got it somewhere.
If you're a TV director, are you really caring about the color of the Gatorade? Sure, you want that footage of someone getting dunked with Gatorade.
Well, this is where that Verizon 5G app comes in with the multiple views.
There you go.
So there's where your media value comes in for Verizon right there. DraftKings was fourth with $11.1 million in value, and Bud Light was $6 million. One of the things they were talking about, Pepsi got $13.5 million in value just from the halftime show itself. They were everywhere in that halftime show. Actually, that was a very interesting halftime show. I have to admit, I don't normally like halftime shows. I can't stand them, to be honest with you.
It was a little disturbing with the guys with the jock straps on their faces.
Yes.
Yeah, am I describing that correctly?
Yes.
But it was a little odd. I think in a interview afterwards, he explained it and what it meant. It meant the media creating faceless things, or I don't know what his reasoning was, but it was pretty strange looking.
Well, the NFL used a lot of tech in this one.
A lot of tech, yeah.
And the NFL made use of that tech for their sponsors because during the season they had the tarps on the seats because no fans were allowed to be in there for the revenue for the sponsors. For the Super Bowl, they switched out the tarps. They put LED displays where they can rotate.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were making out really well media value-wise.
Yeah.
Now this isn't what the NFL made off the advertising. This is what the advertising was worth to the sponsors, whatever they paid.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it for this week's By the Number segment.
Coming up after this is the book report, so stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
Yeah, you, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore.
Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here. Use offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
Attention seniors with Medicare. This is an important announcement. Did you know you may qualify for a monthly Social Security rebate? Did you know you may qualify for a $0 monthly premium? That's right. You may qualify to get $135 added back to your Social Security check each month. Just call the Medicare benefits line to get your options. It's a free call. You may also qualify for $0 premiums, dental coverage, vision coverage, hearing coverage, and prescription drug coverage. With this type of plan, you don't need Medicare supplement insurance. Call now because you deserve to get the most from your Medicare benefits, including a rebate to your Social Security check each month. Agents are standing by with free information regarding Medicare benefits. It's a free call with no obligation, but it could mean big savings for you. Call the Medicare benefits line now to see if you're eligible for a Social Security rebate.
Call 800-574-6770. 800-574-6770.
Now that we're home more than ever, we need to feel safe. Call it a sign of the times or the world we now live in. What do you want to keep safe? The people in your life? What do you want to protect? Your possessions, the things that belong to you, the things that you've worked hard for. Wouldn't it be nice to have tested, trusted 24/7 protection? Peace of mind, real protection that's always there for you and your whole family? Well, now you can with one of our state-of-the-art home security systems. Everyone thinks their home is safe until the unexpected happens. Help protect your home and loved ones today with the affordable next generation in home security. To help keep your family and property safe, call 1-800-520-4068 now. Representatives are standing by to assist you. That's 1-800-250-4068. 1-800-520-4068.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. To get the coverage you need, call the number on the screen now.
Turnpike Sports Book Report.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casinos now, your favorite sports book available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E, and you get a risk-free bet up to $300 and 20 bonus dollars at BorgataCasino.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, in this week's book report, we've got a national handle record to talk about, state records to talk about, both revenue and handle, and it's also a lot of deals and legislation to talk about as well. Whatever we don't hit in this segment on air, you can go to the Turnpike Sports Radio blog, go to turnpikesportsradio.com, click on the blog button, and the book report will be up there in print form. You'll see the stories we do talk about and also some of the ones we don't hit on air, since we don't have time in this segment to talk about them. They'll be up on the blog as well. So head on over to the blog for the additional information and news stories. Let's start with this national handle record. This is for December.
Yeah, so this doesn't even, January and February's numbers don't even compute into this one, right?
No.
Okay.
This is rounding out 2020.
This has nothing to do with the Super Bowl or any bets made in January or
Well, you know what? There
February.
may be some Super Bowl bets made in it.
Well, yeah, future bets, I guess.
Yeah, but $3.77 billion wagered in December of 2020. End of the year, 5 consecutive months of setting handle records for the nation. This was up 8.85% over the record set in November. So handle records will keep going up and up. I think that's more of a factor of more markets coming online, and as well as some of the other states drop their in-person registration requirements. We're seeing a lot more mobile going on because of the pandemic. So
and there's going to be more national records set because this doesn't take into account Michigan or Virginia, who actually started after this year, right?
Well, actually, Michigan is part of this.
Okay, well, take that out.
That's why I was trying to tell you to stop at that one. Okay. 4 states accounted for almost 70% of the overall handle record. New Jersey, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Illinois brought in $2.62 billion themselves.
Well, that makes sense. I think they're the most populous states that have sports betting.
Well, 8 states recorded handles of at least $100 million in December. We just talked about New Jersey, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Illinois. The other 4, Tennessee, brand new market, already went over $100 million in handle.
And only online, right?
Right. Iowa, Indiana, and Colorado. Colorado is becoming a powerhouse.
Sure.
I'm very curious to see where everything goes with Indiana and Iowa as they move along with everything in those states as well. But everyone's calling New Jersey, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Illinois the Big 4 right now.
They're actually calling it the Big 4.
They're referring to it as the Big
Four.
Four.
All
But
right.
you know what?
I've never heard that term before, but, the Big 4.
I had this feeling by maybe mid-year of 2021, the Big 4 may be the Big 5 with Colorado there. I just see Colorado growing and growing and growing. And I'm curious to see where Virginia fits into all this once they get launched. 2 states recorded handle declines. Only 2 of the 18 jurisdictions that have legalized sports betting, Michigan and Rhode Island. Both of them had most of their casinos closed. Michigan has some of the in-person registration stuff. Rhode Island just dropped it, but they closed a lot of the casinos. So a lot of things were kind of screwy with the handles in both those states.
Well, Michigan should really bounce back this year because, recently they started online sports betting. So that the number for Michigan is really going to change.
Yep. Revenue went down in December, though. It went down almost 13% to $263.4 million. Average hold or win rate, however you want to phrase it, 6.93% in December. And let's see, New Jersey was one of 5 states to report an increase in revenue. They had over a 30% increase in their revenue. The other 4 states, we don't talk about some of these too often, Arkansas, Montana, Tennessee, and West Virginia. All had revenue increases along with New Jersey.
You're right. We don't talk a lot about Arkansas or Montana.
No, Arkansas has a good,
you should bring
robust
those up
sports
more
betting.
often. You should bring those up more often.
Yeah. Well, Arkansas doesn't have mobile yet, so it's another one of those states that doesn't have mobile.
Montana, I never think of sports betting, but they do. They
they've had good. They actually just incorporated Simplebet, the micro market stuff, into their Montana sports betting stuff. So, yeah, that's the national handle record. It's going to keep doing it. I think we're going to see another one probably in January once Illinois reports their numbers.
Oh, sure.
Because we got some numbers to talk about for January for some other states, too. But got to report one last thing with the Super Bowl. Tennessee reported their numbers.
Wow, okay.
Across 4 books, $15 million handle, $12.7 million paid out to the bettors, 16% hold. So not a bad market for the Super Bowl for Tennessee. They did not have a lot of the prop bets.
Yeah, I guess it's up to the individual states to go with the different prop bets, or they have to choose and figure out which prop bets they want to make available to their customers.
Well, that's the last Super Bowl numbers I have. I haven't seen anybody else. I think we covered all of them in previous episodes since the Super Bowl.
There'll probably
ended.
be a state that releases some.
Probably Arkansas or something. Something we don't talk about too often. Going into January numbers, we have New Jersey setting a revenue record. Pennsylvania also set a revenue record. So let's talk New Jersey first. Sports betting handle of $958.7 million. That is just short of the record handle they set in December of $996 million or something. They almost hit $1 billion. But they went down about maybe 4% from December for their handle. Revenue was $82.64 million. That's a record revenue for the state. Online betting accounted for 92.5% of the handle. That's a high number again.
Yeah.
Basketball, 33% of all the wagers. Football came in at 21%. The Meadowlands was the leading sportsbook operator, licensee for the state. They came in with 56% of all New Jersey sports betting revenue.
Meadowlands is a fun place to visit. I mean, for a guy from New Jersey, it's the one time you see the room full of mostly people from New York, because you walk out of the building and the New York skyline is right there. You feel like you're in New York.
And I think it's really only 2 sports books there, FanDuel and PointsBet.
Yeah.
So
great location.
Yeah,
the best location in New Jersey.
Second place. I was surprised at the second place. Resorts Digital came in second. DraftKings operates with them. Fox Bet is also part of their license. They were second with 19% of the revenue. So I was a distant second from what the Meadowlands did in January here, revenue-wise.
Sure.
Moving over to Pennsylvania, they also did a revenue record of $49.305 million, growing about 57% from last year at this time. So January 2020, they're 56% more. January 2021. Let's see. The previous record, they passed the previous record, which was set in October of 2020, by 3%. So they are setting records again. The hold was 5.5%. And let's see. The handle was also a record, $615.295 million. First time they've ever passed a $500 million mark in Pennsylvania.
Wow, congratulations, Pennsylvania.
FanDuel was the leader. They had more than a third of the sports betting handle. So Pennsylvania is another growing market.
Absolutely.
Illinois released their numbers for December. They are always at least a month behind everybody else with
always
reporting.
A month behind.
$491.2 million, which was a state record for handle. They had a revenue of $28.4 million. They paid out in taxes $3.58 million. Hold of almost 6%. Okay. Moving over to Michigan, that just recently launched online sports betting. They had an online sports betting handle of $115 million, just a little over $115 million for their first 10 days in operation.
Yeah, that was the big story. They had a great first 10 days.
And a revenue of $13.333 million. Now, that was all pre-credit. That's the gross gaming revenue from the sports betting handle. They had a negative net revenue. It was like minus $5 million.
Apparently, a lot of smart bettors.
It's also a lot of promos.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I mean, you were when the sports books launch now, the first thing they do is give out free bets.
Oh yeah, promos.
Yeah, exactly.
That goes for for online casinos too. I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff here in New Jersey that online casinos you can win free spins. I've gotten free tickets to poker tournaments and things like that. So a lot of promos for online.
Well, you can't launch without giving people something.
Sure. I mean, I won, like I said, I've won tickets to poker tournaments. I've won free spins. I mean, the promos are great right now.
Well, moving over to the legislative side of sports betting, a couple of things to make note of. Hawaii, most of the bills are dead.
Well, don't they have like 5 years or something like that to determine if they want any kind of gambling in their state?
That is the only bill that's alive
right
now, is to create the study that would be reported on 2025 before anything. The other bills that they had introduced, they're dead. They're gone.
Okay.
Vermont has introduced a bill.
Vermont. Wow.
They have introduced a bill to legalize mobile and lottery-based sports betting under the Department of Liquor and Lottery division of the state government.
Look, it'd be a good move for Vermont because their neighboring state, New Hampshire, has online and they have sports betting online and retail.
Yep.
So, if Vermont wants to get with it, I still can't believe Massachusetts isn't doing anything.
Massachusetts has
betting.
its own problems.
That's just absolutely ridiculous. But it'd be a great move for Vermont.
6 mobile sports betting operating license. So it'd be all mobile, and then you have the lottery retailers.
Go do some skiing in Vermont, nighttime, place some bets somewhere. Yeah, that's a good vacation.
I wonder how much a Vermont sports betting market would take away from the New Hampshire betting market. That would be an interesting...
I don't know how many people... I know a lot of people in Massachusetts travel to New Hampshire to place their bets, so I would guess, right now a lot of people in Vermont or in Maine travel to New Hampshire to place their bets. I mean, Vermont's would be a good move to start sports betting. It'd increase a lot of money into the state coffers.
2 other quick bills. Tennessee has introduced a bill to prevent online gambling operators to offer payday loans. That is specifically aimed at that one sports book down there, Action 24/7, which has Finance 24/7 or whatever the loan operator is under that overall umbrella of 24/7.
Okay.
They want to stop that and not allow anybody else doing that. And Maryland had introduced a bill to offer a sports betting license to a Major League Baseball affiliated minor league baseball team in Washington County, specifically for that team.
That's interesting.
They want to keep the team.
Well, I guess if it's a move to keep the team, I guess they got to try everything.
Because one other area in Maryland, Hagerstown, lost their Washington Nationals affiliated minor league team. So they want to keep a minor league team there by giving them a sports betting license.
Here in New Jersey, we lost our minor league team.
They're back.
They're back. See, the Trenton Thunder. They used to be affiliated with the Yankees, and I guess the Yankees ended that contract. And what's going on?
Well, actually, they didn't end the contract. Minor League Baseball (MILB) was disbanded.
All right,
because of COVID. Now, what's happened is a new league has been formed that is including a lot of these other minor league teams. And they're actually back in operation again.
Great. All right. Good. I love going and watching the Trenton Thunder. Are they still going to be called Trenton Thunder?
They are still the Trenton Thunder. Right. I don't know if they're going to be associated with any major league team yet. I know the other North Jersey team, New Jersey Jackals, is associated with somebody now. Even though they're an independent.
Well,
they're in an independent league.
There's also the Somerset Patriots in New Jersey.
Yep.
Here. So I'm not sure who they're affiliated with. I think they might be the Yankees.
There's also a spring league team too.
Is there? I don't.
Yeah,
boy,
the Blue Claws.
Lakewood
Blue Claws. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's the Phillies.
Yeah. Well, not now.
Not now, but it used to be the Phillies.
And last but not least, for the deals segment here, a whole bunch of different deals happened. Let's just hit a couple of them. Bally's, constantly in the news now. They did a multi-year partnership with the NHL. Bally's is now the official sports betting partner of the league. They're going to be able to use the logos and data from the league and their sports betting operations, but also they're going to be working with the league. Bally's is going to be working with the NHL to create content that's going to air during the broadcast of the NHL on the regional sports networks that Bally's just bought.
Great.
The New Jersey Devils have a deal in place with Chalkline and PlayUp USA. That's a free-to-play game through the New Jersey Devils app. basic stuff. It's free to play trivia, questions, little odds betting, that sort of stuff.
Is it predictive kind of game?
It's a predictive game. That's the phrasing I was looking for.
That's predictive.
And BetMGM has announced a partnership with Topgolf. They're going to be working together. Wherever there's a Topgolf, you're going to see a BetMGM, whether it's a sports betting app or online casino app. Wherever it's legal, you're going to see BetMGM branding everywhere. They have this partnership where they're going to be doing everything for Topgolf. And as BetMGM expands throughout individual markets, you're going to start seeing more and more BetMGM stuff branded, not only in the stores, in the restaurants or the venues or whatever you want to call them, but also in the, I want to get this right, the online golf game WGT by Topgolf.
I did not even know they had an online golf game.
They
I gotta
have,
check it out.
They
I
have
love
an
Topgolf.
incredible. They have an incredible online game because I've actually taken a look at it. It's very realistic, and you're going to see a lot of BetMGM signage inside the game.
Great. I love Topgolf, and I'm going to check out that game.
That's it for this week's book report. Again, whatever we didn't cover, and there was a whole lot we didn't cover this week's episode, head on over to turnpikesportsradio.com, click on the blog, and you'll see the book report in print form covering what we did talk about, what we didn't talk about, up online there.
And that'll do it for us this week. If you're going out to one of the newly reopened casinos and sportsbooks, please be safe. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.